Hey everyone, my last liminal space video, finding the original locations of unpopular liminal spaces, seemed to do really well. I noticed you guys really seemed to enjoy that one, so I'm doing a part 2. Today, we're going to be checking out the original locations of some more popular liminal spaces. Some of these are a little less known, but more popular than those in the last video. If you haven't seen the first video of the series yet, I'd personally recommend going to watch that one first to get a better background as to what a liminal space really is and how it affects its viewers. First of all, before this video starts, I'm currently working on a video, and have been for a while, where I review my subscribers' confessions and rank them on a tier scale. As of right now, I only have about 11 confessions submitted, and I want to make the video longer in order to give you guys the best video I can. So please check out my community tab and feel free to leave up to 2 confessions. Thank you for your guys' participation. Now let's get into the video. This liminal space photograph has been floating around the internet for quite some time now. However, it seems that most people don't seem to know its original origins. This photo features a long hallway in what appears to be a rundown shopping mall. This kind of reminds me of that beginning scene in Fear Street when Heather is chased down by the skull mask killer while she's working, which is honestly part of the reason why I find this image so eerie to look at. The end of the hallway appears to have a bright light, which I'm not too sure of the source from. It could be a bright room, a camera glitch, or maybe even an opening to the outside world. The mall just overall looks very unfortunately run down and abandoned, although at the same time salvageable, which is why it gives such an uncanny feeling. It feels like you're really there with your parents and your friends, but everything feels so wrong and offset at the same time. The lights are dim, the stores are closed, and you're completely alone. This search wasn't too difficult for me. Most of them aren't nowadays, ever since the implementation of reverse image search. At first, I suspected it may be the Marshfield Mall in Wisconsin due to their similarities in lighting fixtures and ceiling tiles, but I quickly changed my mind when I found this Reddit post. The title reads, "Looking for the location of this popular liminal space mall. Anyone got any ideas?" And to my surprise, I had it easy, because the first comment on this Reddit post was the location of this mall. This liminal space photo was taken and located at the Mohawk Mall in Schenectady, New York. This mall is surprisingly still open to this day. The photo was likely taken by a janitor or trespasser when the mall was closed. The mall's hours range from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, so if you live nearby, I'd honestly recommend going to check it out because, truthfully, this mall seems really dope. If you're a fan of arcades, golf courses, or skating rinks, then this image will likely resonate with you, especially if you were like me as a kid and spent 90% of your time absolutely shredding it up at the bowling alley. Neon colors are a common theme in most liminal spaces because they bring back childhood memories. For some people, this could be a positive nostalgia, a remembrance of a simpler time, when things weren't so complicated, and when things were more colorful like the image. However, for others, it could be a negative experience. This could be caused by trauma related to these sorts of places, simply disliking the colors, or even a loss of experiences in these places from an early age. No matter what you experience, most people feel a sort of longing or nostalgia for this type of image. It feels vivid, dreamlike, and almost surreal to look at. It reminds me of my birthday as a kid when my friends would sing me happy birthday. This image just overall brings a happy and warm feeling, but also a sense of unease. Where has everyone gone? And more importantly, why have they left? I initially discovered this photo from a Pinterest pin created by a user named Bob the Chicken Nugget 8737. I'm not sure if it's been posted here, but I found this on the internet. Followed by a brief definition of a liminal space in quotes. It looks like that room where they take you before a round of laser tag. I think I've been here. But nobody has questioned the location yet. Where exactly was this liminal space after all? This search was more than long. While searching, my first guess was that this photo was taken at the North Canton Skate Center. I initially thought so due to the flooring patterns and lighting, but the more I looked, I couldn't find that same starry wall pattern and that small iconic room I've been looking for. Briefly though, after closing that tab, I also came across this website, airbrushfire.com. They didn't list an explicit location of the premises, so not only was that off the table, but also none of their walls matched the pattern in the picture. I was getting a little bit frustrated, and at this point I thought I'd never find it. But after looking through the initial reverse image search results one last time, I finally managed to have a broad idea of where it could be. I'm almost 100% sure that I'm wrong, but my best guess as to where this liminal space photograph was taken was at the JV Train Rentals located in Houston. I'm guessing this because after hours of searching, I came across this image on their Facebook. It appears to have the same wall pattern as the other one, or at least similar. The only major difference I see is the flooring, but maybe they changed it? I don't know. I'm not too sure that this is the correct answer for this one, as the original post didn't have much information or context in the first place, but it's my best guess that the image was taken there. I don't know about you, but this image is one of the most unsettling and eerie liminal spaces I've ever come across. The end of the hallway is a black void, the overhead lighting is painfully bright but the hall is dim at the same time, and it seems like the hallway just stretches on forever and ever. I was initially a little skeptical that this image was either edited or made entirely with AI or a 3D modeling software, but I also figured it couldn't hurt to look. Hotel hallways have always made me feel uneasy, especially since they just go on forever. It makes you feel lost, disoriented even, but where could you even find such an uncanny place? I initially found this photo from an IFL Science article with the title, "Why Are Liminal Spaces Creepy?" This was the cover photo, or I guess, the example they used. Clicking on the article, I noticed the image had a subtitle linking to the original post of the image. It appeared to be a Shutterstock link, which isn't too odd of a place to find something like this, but when I copied and pasted the link into the search engine, it said there was no link to be found. I tried again, but the same thing happened, telling me there was a typo in the link. So I turned to the reverse image search. The first thing I noticed right off the bat was a Shutterstock link. However, this wasn't the same image they'd attempted to link in the article before. At first glance, the two images may look similar, even the exact same. But if you look closely, the flooring is slightly off, it's brighter in the hallway, and the doors are placed incorrectly. And while I don't doubt this was taken in the same place as the original image, I still couldn't find the location I needed, and thus the search continued. While the browsing reverse image search on the original image, I came across a report sort of article. It displayed the same original image from the Shutterstock and was titled, "Canada Migrant Hotel Worker Alleges Unhealthy Living Conditions, Gulf North Did Not Respond." The first sentence in the article listed a location, but when I clicked, none of the images featured that hallway. It was likely that they only used that image for their article, not to showcase the said hotel, which is fine. With low hope for finding this image's origins, I turned to Tenai, a reverse image search engine similar to those of the Wayback Machine. But all I found was a couple of Adobe and Shutterstock links. So I clicked on the oldest of the bunch, which was posted on October 6, 2020. On the side of the photo in the margins, there was a location listed. However, it was only listed as Russia with no explicit address or city. Also, most of the images on the reverse image search was just sites using this image for their website or article, or even to showcase carpets, and with reverse image search off the table, I only had one final hope. So I decided to turn to a representative of the iStock company. This guy Mike decided to help me out. Unfortunately though, he didn't have any information on the image, but he did know exactly what camera it was taken on, which was pretty odd. But he was very kind and tried to help, so shout out Mike, you're a real one. Now obviously, this image search was a total fail, but at least we've narrowed it down to somewhere in Russia. Sad, but maybe I'll check it out again in another video. If you have any idea where this image could have been taken, even if brief, let me know in the comments so I can continue looking another time. But for now, this liminal space location is left off as a mystery. Abstract and colorful liminal spaces are my favorite ones by far. Not just simply because they bring me nostalgia, but also because they just look so fun and whimsical to be in. I know that 6-year-old me would have died to go here, even if just for a moment. I also do believe that I went somewhere that looked just like this when I was little, but it couldn't have been the exact place since this image was taken in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Green Family Learning Gallery Museum. This wasn't anywhere as near as long of a search as I expected this one to be, as the original Reddit post that I found it from had a comment that listed the exact location. It appears to be an art museum directed to kids and younger audiences, with multiple floors and honestly just a really surreal appearance. I always wonder how they even managed to craft things so beautifully and dreamlike. Honestly, we should normalize going to places like this at any age, because even though I'm a sophomore in high school, getting his driver's license soon, I would probably kill to go here. Something about this image just really does invoke a childlike wonder in me that nothing else could awaken. It feels like what I imagined my blanket fort to look like when I was 6, and that's not a bad thing, by the way, If anything, it's a compliment. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoy the series so far. These videos especially are extremely fun for me to make because not only do I get to dive into something that I enjoy, but I also find it very comforting. I hope you all have a wonderful day and stay tuned for more soon.